Hello everyone, this is Miss Davenport and our topic for today is respiration. So we have this guy, right? And his name is Bob and he has no idea what cellular respiration is. Bob, there he is, looking all nice. And he wants to know what cellular respiration is because he has no idea. And cellular respiration is the process that we as humans use every single day to get our energy. And there's a lot of different things that are going on. And we're not the only thing that do respiration. Other animals do it as well. And even plants can do respiration, although photosynthesis is what they do the majority of the time. So let's find out what's going to happen. Food. We all know that we need food to get energy. If we don't eat throughout the day, we start to feel lightheaded, we start to feel sick, especially maybe those of us with fourth lunch. Whenever we don't have food, we're not getting energy, we're not getting hungry. So, Bob eats food. That's not the only thing he needs. We all know that if we're not breathing, we're not living. So, oxygen is going to come in as well. So those are the two things that we need for cellular respiration. We need food and we need oxygen. But that's not all that's going on. So what happens once these things get into our body? Okay, so now what? We just had that food go into our bellies and it's going to be digested and broken down into sugar, a usable form of energy, specifically glucose. So we take our food, we're going to break it down into glucose. That way we can get that quick energy that we need to do whatever it is that we need to do for that given day. You might think you might not need energy when you're sleeping or when you're resting, but your heart's still got to beat. You've still got to keep breathing. There's other processes still going on in your body, so you need energy at all times. You need a little more energy when you might be exercising, but you still need energy even when you're sitting still. But what about the oxygen? Okay, we didn't just take in food, we took in oxygen as well. So that oxygen is going to go into our bloodstream and it's going to go to a very specific part of the cell called the mitochondria. And that's where the main part of cellular respiration is going to take place, is inside the mitochondria. Just like photosynthesis took place in a chloroplast, there is a specific part of the cell in which respiration happens to, and that's the mitochondria. So what's going to go on in this mitochondria? Because that's not all that's going to happen. So there's our mitochondria. And what's going to be made? We're going to make ATP, that stands for adenosine triphosphate. You don't need to know that. You just need to know that ATP equals energy. It's how we get our energy. It's the form of energy that we use within our bodies. We take that glucose and we convert it into something that we can actually use within our bodies. And then we're going to also make water. But that's not it. Inside the mitochondria, also as a byproduct and something that we exhale because we do not actually need this, that is carbon dioxide. So we breathe carbon dioxide out into the atmosphere. Opposite of plants, remember, we breathe in oxygen and out carbon dioxide, and they're the opposite of that. Okay, so there's our carbon dioxide. So let's kind of put all of this together so that it can make sense for us. So what does Bob need? And we're not the only Bob's not the only person that does respiration, so do we. But for this example, Bob, he needed glucose, which he got from his food, right? Looks like he got some McDonald's, maybe a Big Mac, some fries, a Coke, you name it. So glucose, and we also need oxygen, right? Those two things. We cannot do respiration without those things. What comes out? We've got carbon dioxide. We exhale that. We get rid of that. We make ATP, which is our energy. Gotta have energy. And then we also do make water as a byproduct as well. So, taking all of this into consideration, we had a formula for photosynthesis. We have a formula for respiration too. So what is it? Okay, oxygen, O2, plus glucose, C6H12O6, plus carbon dioxide, plus water, plus ATP. So those are our results. Those are our products. Reactants on the left, products on the right. Remember, that's how you may also see things written. You might also see the equation balanced on a quiz or a test. You don't need to know how to do that. Just know that sometimes you may see other numbers outside of these that's just balanced. Usually kind of concentrate on that more in chemistry. So where does it happen? We already said this. It happens in the mitochondria. That's the cell part where respiration happens. And last but not least, your biggest takeaway from this, our new vocabulary word we haven't heard before, is ATP. ATP equals energy. We've gotta have energy to do pretty much everything in our body. Okay? So that's respiration. And hopefully that helped.